A woman wrote in and said, how do you deal with being overly jealous towards other women? This is Reid from readaboutsex.com.
Cathy from theintimacydojo.com.
It was a great question. Thanks so much for writing in. I think often we try to hide our jealousy because we're taught that good people aren't jealous, or there's something where our people aren't caring about us if they make us feel jealous. But jealousy is a very complex topic, and I love you have a great program called the 8-Armed Octopus of Jealousy that breaks it down and makes it much more understandable and manageable.
Yeah. And by complex, what Cathy means is there's a lot of moving parts, but
and a lot of contributing factors.
Yeah, but the idea is is simple in a certain way. Because the way I like to think of it is treating jealousy like asthma, which a friend of mine, Kamala Devi, talked about, where I kind of got that concept. If you know somebody who has asthma, or if you have asthma, you're just taught to know what your triggers for an asthma attack are, and then how to avoid them.
Yes.
And then you can start to work on, because you're not always having an asthma attack, how you inoculate yourself.
Yep.
So those contributing factors and whatnot, for me, looking at jealousy from a needs-based perspective. And what do you need to not feel jealous or feel less jealous? Because if you're getting all your needs met, there's a tendency for people not to feel jealous.
Yeah.
And then breaking down to the octopus with its 8 arms, there's 8 tentacles that point at what possibly you might need to feel resourced and your tank's being full, so that jealousy doesn't impact you in the same way.
Yeah. I think it's important to notice what your thoughts are around this. Like, dig down a little deeper. I'm noticing I'm feeling this jealousy towards other women. Is it a thought pattern? I was brought up that other women could be a threat, especially if they were pretty. They were going to take things away from me or draw people's attention away from me. So I have that history pattern, and so I'm more sensitive around that. If my tank is low and a really pretty woman comes in, and people's attention seem diverted, my jealousy is more likely to flare. You may have that or something different. What are you noticing underneath that just surface feeling of jealousy? What are the thoughts, the beliefs? What could help you calm down?
Yeah.
If that happens and a friend goes, hey, I noticed you're looking tense, is everything okay? I feel seen again, and I can calm, my jealousy immediately comes down. Versus if everyone's always paying attention to that other person, I'm like, hater.
Other things you can do when you know that you're like that, using Cathy's as an example, who can you talk to reach out for support? You know, hey, I need some reassurance, or I need this, or I need that, or even just saying, hey, so-and-so walked into the room, I'm feeling tense because their prettiness, historically speaking, is going to take something away from me. So I'm having worries of loss, this or that. Like, can you find somebody to talk to, put into words the stuff that might be going on in your head? Because what goes on in your head will gain more power if you leave it up there.
It just spins around and
for those of you who've heard me talk about my evil hamsters on their hamster wheels of death.
They're breeding.
As they're running, they're growing stronger and hulking out, and it gets louder and louder in my head, and then I'm less effective. Me saying that I have my hamsters, telling people what I need, those things can go a long way to quieting the hamster effect and at least letting people know what's going on. And I think that's been useful. You can also check out my jealousy course. Yeah. So you can go to readaboutsex.com/jealousy, and that should send you to some articles and eventually the online course if you really want to dig down to those needs. This also works for those of you who have friends and family members and lovers who get jealous. You boning up on how to support them around jealousy
calm them down so much faster.
Yeah. Because again, we just don't talk about jealousy in this culture. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I would make the distinction, is it jealousy or envy? Are you jealous? Like jealousy to me means I want the pretty person out of the room and me to get all the attention. I want the attention. Or is it envy, which is, oh,
I want some attention too.
I want attention too, but they can
include me and I'm fine. That's for me.
Or they can have the attention that they want as long as I'm getting my attention. I'm not even thinking about the pretty person in the room.
Right. And it may be that it may not be prettiness for you around women. You can identify it as you start asking yourself some questions and paying attention. Once you know what it is, it's a lot easier to ask for help and move through it.
Yeah. What you don't want to do is start screaming, pretty, pretty, pretty!
Don't do that.
Not good, usually. I hope I didn't scare anyone. Leave a comment. Sorry. Pretty, pretty. Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like, boop, boop, boop.